All right. It's going to be episode 2 for our podcast regarding global goal number 4, quality education. My name is Josiah Rivas. I'm with David Cardona. And in this episode, we're going to go over some more specific resources, organizations, and things of that nature in the local Tampa area. Dave, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of different options that we want to go over today in this episode. The first one that I want to go ahead and mention is the Leap Tampa Bay. This is a college access, so they primarily focus on assisting in college and trying to help people get into college. And a lot of it is kind of tutoring, a lot of it is a mix of like supporting veterans that are getting education, high school students, that kind of note. So this is a good one that I wanted to point out because it's a lot about planning for the future. It's a lot of college planning. It's a lot of career training for certain careers to help them get more experience before they even get their first jobs outside of high school. So this is a great one if you're interested in trying to help people figure out what sort of career path they might be interested in, or trying to assist high schoolers who might be struggling a bit in certain subject matters for a job that they might be interested in. So this is one we wanted to point out just because it's linked a lot with grants and scholarships as well. So when there's success in their organization, they're able to reward certain students of certain opportunities thanks to being able to do better in education and career training. So that's the first one we want to talk about today.
Yeah, and then just a quick glance over at their website, you can see their plan is for not just well, their services aren't just for high school students and incoming students for colleges, but it's in general trying to get 67% of working age adults in the Tampa Bay area to have a degree, certificate, or other high quality credential by the year 2030. So I think David also mentioned it. This isn't just school or certifications. It's also like vocational training, training on the job for things like I guess it would be blue collar work like electricians, plumbers, things of that nature. So yeah, Leap Tampa Bay, very good resource for any young people or even people who just want to advance themselves in the career field. So the one I want to start touching on is Dream Center Tampa Bay, especially the one in Ybor. This is aimed more towards younger children, K through 12, and it's um, more like a volunteering spot where you can bring in children's. It's kind of similar to something like a YMCA, and a lot of it is made with mentorship and volunteer relationships within the kids. So with education, there's a lot of ways you can go about it. Everyone kind of learns this different in different ways. Like we all know about whether you learn better through visual, through audio, through interactive, being able to touch. And with this, it's trying to get younger children more engaged learning through having like a mentor. Like I think we all have kind of fond memories of learning something with a parent, maybe a sibling, a cousin, and this is what Dream Center Ebor is trying to do with these students. I think it's a pretty good opportunity, not just for the kids, but also for volunteers, because being able to teach someone younger than you with like maybe like an age gap, a similarities gap, interest gap, that is also good training as for future job employments. There's many times where you'll have to train a coworker, and I think getting that type of experience with younger children who might be more difficult to work with will give you a good background in those future job prospects. I'm going to hand it back to you, David.
Yeah, like you said, touched on a lot of points with them. That one, a good one to point out just because it's more of a younger crowd. So if you're interested in more youth assistance, that's a good one too. The next one that we want to bring up is I believe it's the Hillsborough Education Foundation and the Pinellas Education Foundation. So these two kind of work hand in hand, and it's a lot of assisting students getting enrolled, assisting students in the because they do classify as a school district, so it's trying to assist them in, as a school as well, trying to help any students that might be, at a disadvantage when it comes to economically or financially. Essentially, they try to help and support them with teachers and students so that they can achieve academic success and personal success. These are two foundations that are very similar. They work together a lot to accelerate the educational achievement for a lot of the students. And as mentioned with the Leap Tampa Bay, it's a lot of trying to create pathways for college and career readiness at a young age. So, it can range from high school to even college students can work with these two foundations as well. They're just trying to help these students that need the help, but might not be at the best position to get the help. So, these financially struggling families or a student that might be away, studying abroad, that kind of situation where it's always trying to help the student get a better opportunity despite the difficulties that they're going through. That's kind of the main one, is making sure that their education is continuing to do better. And in in turn, you'll see, graduation rates increase, equity will be built for the education system as a whole, and it creates more of a workplace that continues to thrive because we have a bunch of young people that receive the education that's needed for certain jobs.
Yeah, I've actually donated one time to the Tampa School Supply Drive. They have a few different options. You can buy kind of directly off their Amazon webpage, their kind of school supply list, or you can just send a anonymous sum donation, 10, 25, $50 that'll go to school supplies within Tampa Bay area. But I think they all around have a pretty good gig. Kind of a common practice of like a food drive or in this case school supply drive. um, you're sending in things of that nature. So now we're going to move a little bit away from organizations or opportunities in the Tampa Bay area to more specifically on the USF campus. The first office I would like to highlight is student conduct and ethical development. Now, this doesn't, it's kind of dissimilar to the ones we've already talked about, where it's more improving the kind of academic side. So like we touched on Leap Tampa Bay, how they connect students to more training or getting into college, or it's Tampa School Supply Drive, where it's the physical items they would need. Student conduct and ethical development, it's more the kind of on campus side. So it's kind of, you can think of it as the school's judiciary system. Of course, USF has a code of conduct, and when that code of conduct is broken by students in any way, shape, or form, student conduct and ethical development will get involved. But their process is more rehabilitory, in which they're trying to get the students to kind of improve themselves and not repeat their same actions, rather than punitive, which is like harsh punishments such as suspension, expulsion, or even getting law enforcement involved. I've had one run with them for kind of a minor incident, and what I saw for their overall system and the people I met at the office, I think they're doing a pretty good job at kind of trying to improve the educative experience here at USF by trying to improve students at more of a personal level. Um, so I guess the next one I could hand off to you, David.
Yeah, and just real quick to touch on the one you just mentioned, I mentioned in our prior episode that I have experience volunteering in teen court. So, just to add on to what you said about, students that might be in difficult situations with law enforcement, it's just important to help them in any way that we can and be able to push them towards the right path after getting into the difficult situations. The next one I want to bring up is also run by USF, and it is the MESA College Prep. And MESA essentially stands for Mathematics, Engineering, and Science Achievement. And this is an after school program that helps students in high school throughout the Tampa Bay region. So it's not, one specific high school, it's just the region itself. It mixes with a lot of Pasco County schools and Pinellas County schools, Pinellas Park, Pasco, Largo, Kirkland Ranch, just to name a few of them. And these programs are designed to try to help students be able to enhance their skills in mathematics, engineering, and science that have an interest in trying to pursue that in the future. And this program is an after school program that's usually 1 hour after school a week, and it usually can lead to college and career visits depending on how the program's going with the students. And they have a large amount of college readiness planning and a bunch of resources to help students learn about what it's like to be in college and to apply for college. And they offer things like family programming and They have competitions with engineering to try to get kids to be creative with their engineering interests. So this is a great one because it can really help a lot of students within the Tampa Bay region that have an interest in mathematics and engineering in that world. They usually try to help around 15 to 30 students. And like I said, it's about an hour a week after school. So it's just getting a chance to advise that, getting a chance to enhance that in any way that we can. Um, it's just a great thing to be able to do something specific like engineering, which is a very difficult field to get in right now, especially for incoming college students. So this is just a great program that's good for anyone that might be interested in like the science side of volunteering or tutoring as well.
Yeah, it does sound similar to something I did in middle school as part of the robotics team. I actually flew drones for a good bit. Um, but yeah, it's always good to have STEM systems highlighted, and that's one of the main things students come for, especially here at USF. I think majority of students I've met have been in some type of engineering, science, whether that be more like biology, chemistry, or more medicine based since USF is a major doctorate, well, not doctorate, but like doctor focused campus. But you know what I mean. Um, yeah. Moving on, I this is going to tie into one of our later episodes. It's going to be USF Academic Success Center. Now, obviously, the name kind of gives away what they're mostly focused on, but Academic Success Center USF is where a lot of the tutoring services are hosted. We will be speaking to Mr. Wilford Missouri, who's one of the kind of program managers over there for a upcoming episode. And, just the overall, USF offers a plethora of different students to and instructors to help tutor and kind of guide students in improving with the many different courses that they offer here. And one more organization I kind of want to touch up upon before we conclude this episode would be the Pinellas Foundation. The Pinellas Foundation is locally sourced in Florida. I believe it's in Pinellas County, especially, but they do a lot of outreach here in Tampa. They are connected with the Tampa School Supply Drive. They're one of the main driving factors behind that. And one of the things I want to highlight is about 10 years ago, there was a Tampa Bay Times investigation within the Pinellas County school system under the name of failure factories. And ever since then, the Pinellas Foundation has worked to improve student test scores despite several different adversities, such as Trump administration, grant freezes in 2016 and 2020. So in 2018, I'm citing this from one of the articles wrote about the Pinellas Foundation. In 2018, Florida had a 57% third grade reading proficiency, and the Pinellas County only had 53%. Now, Florida is still at a 57% third grade reading proficiency overall. Pinellas County is now up to 67%, which kind of shows the dedication they have in improving education in the local area, especially. And I think that's especially needed right now. In the first episode, we touched upon children relying more and more on AI, reading less, using more screens. And I think that's kind of impressive that despite this more increasingly digital age, that in Pinellas County, students are reading at almost 70% proficiency level at just the third grade. So now, David, I'm going to hand it back to you if you want to kind of wrap up this episode and inform them more about our future episodes.
Yeah, I think we made a lot of great progress talking about a lot of good opportunities to volunteer, get involved in our global goal. Next couple episodes, as we mentioned in our last episode, we'll mention it again. We do plan to do two interviews. Uh, the one we mentioned just recently was Dr. Ford Missouri, who is in the Academic Success Center. He is the assistant director of tutoring and writing services. So we expect to ask him a lot about kind of what he does to assist in education, how he's able to assist with writing and tutoring, and when AI is becoming so prevalent now when it comes to creating essays and writing and things like that. So I'm very excited to interview him. I believe that'll be in episode 4, and then episode 3 we will be doing another interview with someone that Josiah set up for us, Mr. Cliff, I believe is the
Yes,
nickname.
Mr. Clifford McAfee.
Clifford
He's
McCaffrey.
student program manager at the Office of Veteran Success on campus, and the Office of Veteran Success is for military connected students who might be using education benefits. Since Florida, I think, has a reputation for being a kind of major military state, a lot of people moving here because of several military bases or even just moving here after retirement. And there's a lot of students here at USF. I believe almost 3,000 students using education benefits. We'll have him on to speak specifically about things such as certifications, graduate programs, and vocational rehab training, all connected by students using education benefits here at USF.
Yeah, so we look forward to interviewing both of them a lot. We didn't mention the Office of Veteran Success, but I did want to point out briefly it is another good opportunity to help with military connected students and help them with college and academic success. So that's another option that we didn't go through, but I just wanted to point out real quick since we are going to interview someone that's within that Office of Success. So
Yeah, but that's kind of all we have for today. We appreciate your viewership, and next episode we will be interviewing Mr. Clifford McAfee. So we hope to see you all then.